All right, students, today we are going to learn how to sew on a 4-hole button, which is a very similar process to what we used for sewing on the 2-hole button. We are going to start by getting our needle threaded, just like we did for the 2-hole button. So we are going to double our thread up, like so. And then I am going to make my double knot so that I can make sure that my knot is secure enough that it's not going to allow the thread to go all the way through the fabric. So I'm just going to trim that off. And then we are ready to begin. So I'm going to take my fabric and send my needle through the bottom of the fabric. I'm going to make sure that it goes all the way to where that knot is, and then we're ready to string on our button. Just like we did with the 2-hole button, we are going to put it through the bottom part of the button. And then for this one, we are going to go through the opposite buttonhole diagonally. When we're finished, we want our threads to make an X or a plus sign. We don't want it to look like an equals sign. And we definitely don't want it to look like a square, like, it's kind of going all over the place. Once we have our button strung on, we're just going to look to see about how far apart our buttonholes are here to here. So when we do that, we are going to then know how far apart we need to make our stitch. So for my button, it is about that far. I'm going to make sure that it's straight and it didn't get twisted. And we are good. Okay, so now we're just going to go around these 2 buttonholes 5 times. Okay, so we've gone around our button 1 whole time. So we're going to do 4 more. So here to here, 5 times total. This is 2. 3. 4. 'And our last one for these 2 buttonholes, which is going to be 5. Okay, so now when we're looking at the back, I am just going to kind of estimate where I think that other buttonhole is, and that is where I'm at. So now we're going to go through these buttonholes 5 times. Okay, or around these buttonholes 5 times. Okay, so right now we're on step 2 still, which is just securing the button to the fabric. 2. 3. 4. And then 1 more. All right, so now we've gone around our button 5 times. Okay, from here, we need to create the thread shank. So in the exact same way that we created the thread shank for our 2-hole button, we are going to take our needle. We're going to kind of hold our button down while folding our fabric over, and we're going to push our needle through just the fabric, but not through the button. So we want it to kind of be in between. When you're happy with your placement, you can pull your thread all the way through, and then we are going to wrap around our button 5 times. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check to make sure it looks pretty good, tight to the button. And then we can go back through just our fabric, but not through the button. And we want to end up pretty close to where all of these stitches are. And I am, so I'm going to pull it through. Just double check, make sure that everything still looks good, and then you're ready for your final tie-off knots. So I'm going to pick up just a little bit of fabric, okay, kind of like this, not a whole lot, and then I'm going to create a loop. I'll send my needle through the loop and pull, and I'm going to do that one more time just to make sure that we have a nice secure knot and our button's not going to go anywhere. So this is the final step. Then we will trim off our extra thread and we have our 4-hole button.